Hello friends, this is Sharmi with the Amateur Gardener. I'm taking you through a May garden tour video today. So without much talking, let's take you along. Okay, I have another clematis here that hasn't bloomed yet. This one is pink Mink clematis. And then turning around, this is my big Lady Banks rose that hasn't bloomed yet. Hopefully it will, but I'll have to train it back again. And then, but the hellebores are blooming. If you can see, these are looking beautiful. These were planted, I think 2 years ago. This is year 3. These ones have already bloomed, but there are some like outstanding blooms here. And then this is my calla lily, the yellow orangish one. Have a camellia there at the back. And then over here, this is Duke Gardens podocarpus. I love it. And here is the tea olive. What else? Have some loropetalum here. One is a, I think it's diamond ball, and the other is it's a variegated one from Proven Winners. And then these are from my winter pots. These kale, and I planted some leftover impatiens that I had, but the kale looks so amazing even in the May heat of Houston. I have some dicentra here, or bleeding heart, which hasn't bloomed for me yet. There's some balsam coming up. I can pull that out. Planted these from seeds one time, and then they grow everywhere. But some more bleeding heart. This one is taking over the bleeding heart. This is Proven Winners white Superbena. This one is Tokyo Tower Chinese fringe tree. It has already finished its blooming. One behind it is Styrex. I think it's Styrex japonica. What else? This is a gardenia. It's a variegated one. This is a plum, another one. This is the tall one. This is a variegated hydrangea, which is blooming. And then I have some delphinium that has already finished blooming. There is the Professor Sargent camellia in the back. Some roses. This one is the veranda white rose. And then this is the Seriyu maple. I've already made a video on it, won't talk about it. This one is a ginkgo. This is a dwarf ginkgo Marican. These are the August Beauty gardenias. And this one is a Proven Winners rose. I think this one is white. That's the white pillar. And this one is I think pink satin. And this one is an euphorbia. This is Ascot rainbow euphorbia. That's a Kramer Supreme camellia in the back. These are my lisianthus that were grown from seeds last year, and they are going to put on a beautiful show this summer. Some of them have already started producing buds. These are the hedge of Iceberg roses that I cut back. They're starting to produce buds again. Going to the other side, this is another bright spot in my garden. This is the Rising Sun Redbud, which does awesome here. Some gardenia underneath it. There is some desert rose or Chitalpa. 3 of them growing. These are tiny ones. I have a bigger Chitalpa in the back. And there is a yellow buddleia there that I just cut back. And that's the Chitalpa in the back. That has already finished blooming. Hopefully I'll get more. This area smells so good, and I don't know what. Probably the Vitex. I don't. These are the Superbena pink Cashmere, and then a lot of, I just watered them, so they kind of look a little bit droopy, but these are mostly Supertunia Jazzpberry and Supertunia Tiara blue. Taking you around, this is the Superbena pink Cashmere here again. Lots of it. And then some huge lilies. These are oriental lilies, and I have a lot of them like here. These are 2 red buds. This is the usual Texas red bud, and this is the Appalachian red bud, but they're just native trees here. This is the Vitex. Looks beautiful and fully blooming now, and the Vitex shades my fire glow maple here. These are 2 Artemisia here. I might cut this back so that this gets a little more sun. But this one survives anything and everything. It's been planted for here for the last 3 years. These are my roses. This one is cardinal, has some buds there. Okay, some dianthus that is also blooming here. Daylilies are about to start up. Some of them are already blooming, like this one here. And these are Asiatic lilies here. I think these are like reddish, magenta-ish color. I forgot what it was. I have to look it back. Anyway, it's going to bloom in a few days. And wanted to show you another plant here. This is my acanthus, and which is blooming here beautifully. Another hydrangea there, that is the eclipse hydrangea that is just starting to leaf out. I think I might need to put it somewhere else because that is in too much shade. One thing to keep in mind as your garden matures, you get more and more shady spaces than what you started with. So I started with a green slate, and this is what I have now. These are my summer pots, so it's mostly Supertunia. It's Supertunia Tiara Blue and Supertunia Jazzpberry, and they're very full, and they're getting to the point where they will soon need a haircut. I have hanging baskets as well. There's one here. This one just has one Tiara Blue, and then there is the one Jazzpberry there. This is just another Jazzpberry here. If you look at these pots here, just one Jazzpberry. And then there's one pot I already cut back. It'll grow back. And there are some more that are here. Another Tiara Blue and another Jazzpberry. These are leftover pots from last year. Also needs some shearing. But what I wanted to show you in this bed is particularly my hydrangeas. Hopefully I get some blooms here. This one is a white hydrangea, and then this one I added some soil acidifier, so did get a little bit of purpley color here. The rest are pink. This one's still pink. That one I don't see any blooms yet. Hopefully I get some. Things are all blooming a little bit later than usual this year. Now there's one hydrangea in the back that has a ton of blooms. Let me go a little closer. It has a lot of toad lilies growing in between it, which I have to pull out. But this one is a ginger. It's a pink ginger. Has been here for several years. I don't remember how many, maybe 6, 7, I don't know. But I just planted it as like root balls, but this grows every year, looks beautiful all year from like about May through November. And then it gradually dies back after a freeze. I have another color here. This one is just leafing out. That is more like a very pale pink color. Then going through some of the beds, just my regular stuff, some hollyhocks. This one is a summerific hibiscus. I'm forgetting the name, but I think this is cherry chocolata, if I remember right. This is the biggest hibiscus that I have. That's why I remember it. Oh, this one, I'm getting some blooms from my lisianthus. This is probably going to be purple. I killed one when I was trying to plant something else there. That one is a clematis. I think that is Vancouver Clematis. And then we have some cleome that's self-seeded, and I let most of them be where they are unless they were like blocking something else. There is some autumn joy sedum in the back. I love these Rebecca that pop up self-seed for here and there, and they surprise me with blooms. And since they are open pollinated, we get different colors. We don't get exactly the same color everywhere. There's another Rebecca there, and then this one is a midnight sedum from Proven Winners. I planted this one here, which is greatly in contrast with this hosta. This is a stained glass hosta. And then I have a hydrangea at the back. That one is a wedding gown hydrangea. Then we have two hydrangeas here. We just had one before. This one is LA Dreamin', I believe. And this one, I planted it recently. And this is a Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangea. I have one on the other side of the garden, and I really like it, so I wanted another one. Okay, lots of hollyhocks that some are blooming. That's a Dalmatian white, I think. And then we have several that hopefully will bloom as the year goes by. This area gets just morning sun up until like maybe 11:30 a.m. and after that it's in the shade because it's the house that casts the shade. I have some Veronica here, and then some Gerbera daisies in the front. This is like mostly pink and then flanked by 2 yellows. And then this one is a Holy Grail hibiscus. Love the dark foliage, and this one has dark red blooms. And then I have some hosta here. This is my hosta land. Lots and lots of hostas. This one is an Empress Wu hosta. I don't know what I'm going to do when it gets that big. It is supposed to get really big. We'll figure out at that time. But I do have some incredible hydrangeas here. You can see some are just starting to open up. This is one here. That's another incredible sublime. And then I have a third hydrangea here. Another incredible sublime. These are the most heat resistant incredibles that you can get. These are all proven winners, but these are hardy to zone 9 and they have been doing really well. This is, I think, year 3 for them. And then just usual stuff. I have some columbine here that self-seed every year, and then some cleome that also self-seed, and then some celosia that also self-seed. Again, some white cleome there that has self-seeded. Okay. I have a few other things. I think I have a monarda there. That's a new one that I planted. I have a pineapple lily that's coming. I have 3 more similar pineapple lilies just across this bed. And then some phlox that bloomed once and is probably going to bloom again. But that's pretty much it. And then we have a bay laurel here. Now just across the AC here, this one was planted this year. This one is a white wedding hydrangea. This is a panicle hydrangea, supposed to be very heat tolerant and very floriferous. So you can see that I pulled the drip from that bed right here behind the AC, and then I planted a couple of the acanthus seedlings here. I am going to plant something else here in the front to fill this up, but this was just an empty spot here and I decided to fill it up. And let me go to the other side. This one is a Rangoon creeper. I thought it was dead, but then almost the second week of May it starts popping its head from the ground. This one had little bit of soil, so I got this box that I wasn't using for anything, that we had built for something else, and it's coming back up. I love my Rangoon creeper. This was actually butchered by our gardeners, and I did not actually want it cut back, but it's okay. Okay, a lot of things that I thought had been butchered and won't come back are coming back. So this is Pride of Barbados. This is the orange one. Hasn't bloomed yet because it was cut back so severely. I think it would have bloomed earlier if it hadn't been, but this one's coming back. And these are my 2 fig trees. This one's a Chicago hardy fig, has lots of fruit already, but nothing's ready for picking yet. The taller one is the dwarf Little Miss Figgy. This one is a beautyberry, and I love its flowers, and it produces like beautiful magenta colored berries in the fall. Now I have some Amsonia here. You can see that they are coming back a little late, but this fall what I will be doing is moving the Amsonia forward. The beautyberry is taking up a lot more space, and this one is a white spirea. This was cut back so severely. It's coming back. I don't know if I'm going to get any blooms this year, maybe too late. I'll probably have to wait till next year, but the point still remains that I have to move the Amsonia up forward. I have some echinacea here. I'll probably plant them somewhere in this region. Now these are some asters. They are starting to produce buds. This is my apple tree. I don't see any apples this year. This one is a Fuji apple tree. Now these are some ridge gourds that I had planted for this fence. These are the eggplants that actually were overwintered. They came back. 1, 2, 3, 4 eggplants here. I have some watermelons just starting up from here. This area has some hibiscus. Several of them are Rose of Sharon. So there's one pink one there. I forgot what color it is. This one was cut back. This one is a purple. This one is a purple pillar. I think it's purple pillar, yeah. This one is one of the Summerific series hibiscus from Proven Winners. I have some Gara here that I let them self-seed and grow here and there. There are some aster there as well. And I also planted some autumn joy sedum. Okay, this one is a gomphrena that's self-seeded in the walkway, and I'm letting it do it. Okay, that one over here I have a lot of rudbeckia, and I let it grow. This one is Monrovia's yellow bird of paradise. It's kind of like the pride of Barbados, just yellow but bigger flowers, and it was already finished blooming once. I think it was in my April garden tour. Going back here, this one is awakening rose, and this is my clematis. Doesn't have any blooms now, has finished its first round of blooms. Let me go in here. I have my okra bed here. Okay, I put some of my celosias and some of my zinnias that had self-seeded here. I just uprooted them and planted them here. I have some Joe Pye weed that's coming back, and then you can see the back line is from this tall zinnias that I put here as fillers. And also my Gara. I love Gara, and I pulled them up wherever they were growing, like in the walkway here, there. I put them here. Now this is my eggplant bed. It's full. We have eaten so many eggplants. Can't even talk about it, but it's a lot. We're regularly harvesting and eating eggplants from here. There are 4 different varieties here. Some of them are, there's a Japanese variety, the long ones, and there is fairy tale eggplant, which is these smaller ones. And then there is there's another one, and I forgot the name of it. There's those with those slight white stripes, and there is of course classic black beauty. This bed has onions, and that bed has garlic. These potatoes are, I think, almost getting ready to harvest. It's getting too hot here, so I'll probably pull them out. And these are the tomatoes. You can see they're in the walkway. They have self-seeded. These are all cherry tomatoes, mostly golden yellow ones, and I'm letting them grow, and we'll be eating those. These are some lettuce in here that are ready to harvest, and there's an amaranth that I had planted, and they are getting ready to be harvested. Over here I have lots of agastache, and they self-seed. Sometimes we have things grow so densely that it's hard to see what's a weed and what's not. But anyway, these are agastache, and I love these. This is blue boa, and it is a beautiful pollinator attractor, and it fills up the space totally. Oh wow, I didn't realize there was a tomato growing here. This one is midnight, just midnight, beyond midnight actually. Another Caryopteris. This is the beyond pink. I let the beyond pink self-seed. It covers up. I would rather have those than weeds. This is another Summerific hibiscus. I have to see which one it is. I have a birch tree in the back, which I'm hoping is going to give this area some shade later on. I'm going to limb it up. And then this one is a pineapple guava. Oh wow, I didn't realize there's a huge eggplant hanging there. These are my liatris. I'm going to show you from the other side. Some Caryopsis here. And then these are my grapevines. And this here, they do have some grapes forming. We'll see if I can keep it long enough to eat it. There are only 4 salvias here. These are Rock and Plain the Blue Salvia, and they are taking over. This side has garlic, onions. This is my apple tree. Lots and lots of apples. We'll get whatever. Oh God, just got hit by an apple. We'll eat whatever we can. More onions. And this area I have my roses and vine interspersed with this salvia. And there are only 2 salvia plants here. They're huge. Again, more onions. Again, another apple tree. This one looks pretty healthy with lots of fruit. And this is my bed of strawberries. We have been harvesting from it like 3 to 4 strawberries every other day. These are 3, I believe they're autumn sedums, could be some other variety, but I planted them here. This was planted at least like several years ago. This rose is a burgundy iceberg, and this is a petite pink rose. To cut it back, this one is a generous gardener, just finishing its first round of blooms. This one is Baron Prevost. I cut it back, some extra blooms. The Madame Plantier hasn't bloomed for me even this year, so I don't know when it's going to bloom. I did not cut it back at all. I don't know, we'll see. This one is a beautiful rose. Let me get closer. This one is a Bliss Parfuma. It's a beautiful fragrant rose. I have Graham Thomas in the back. I do have to cut back. This is Lady of Shalott. The Molino has finished, and then there is Heritage in the back. I'm going to cut my apples from here. I have some Stokecia or Stokes Aster here. There's a lot of weeds. I have to take those weeds out. And then this area, as I showed you from the other side, is thickly planted with salvia. That's another Stokecia. That one I think was Honeysong Purple. And I have a lot of Liatris here. Some of them are finishing their blooms. There are like at least 100 Liatris here. And then there are 3 hibiscuses here. All of them are summerific. So 1, 2, and the third one is just barely coming up. And then we have lamb's ear down there. 2 big patches. Turning around here, I have a honeysuckle here. This is Scensation Honeysuckle from Proven Winners. You can see the flowers there. It's beautiful, and this is its 3rd year and it's taking off. It took a while. And then this one is a wattle gourd. Actually, there are a few of them here, and some of them you can see are starting to fruit. This is the back of my triangle bed, and I use it to grow some veggies. But you can see some flowers, lots of gladiolus and zinnia here. Zinnias self-seed, gladiolus come back every year. And I have some cucumbers here. As you can see, I have some long beans here. Wow, now this is ready to eat, or someone else will eat it. So I'll come back a little bit later and harvest these long beans. Now, this side has another hibiscus. This is, I believe, cookies and cream. Let me try to show you a flower. There. We have still some cabbage here left to harvest. Of course, I love sunshine, Ligustrum. And we have a hedge here behind the patio area. These are all my potted plants. I have a mango, an Alfonso mango, a guava, a neem tree, which we just harvested. We do make a recipe with neem leaves and eggplant. Anytime I feel that they need a haircut, we harvest them and we eat them. There is a curry leaf plant there which is blooming. There is a moringa there. I might put the moringa in the ground. A lot of people have had success with moringa in ground. In my zone, of course. This one is a smoke tree. I have a lot of dahlias. This one is another Stokes Aster that just finished blooming. I have a peony here that I have shown you. Right now it's doing nothing other than just gaining strength for next year. I have some purple fountain grass there that came back from last year. This is a limelight hydrangea. It's a tree form, and other than this branch, most of them leafed out. We'll see. This is my bed where I planted mostly dahlias. My luck with dahlias isn't that great, but at least I'm having them pop their heads out, so we'll see. So I have several now, and they need to be fertilized. Only one of them is blooming. The others are just budding up. This side you can see it is a very full bed, mostly with the verbena as ground cover in front. This is Endurus Cape verbena. I love this verbena. Can't say more about it. This one is chrysanthemum, and I have lots of chrysanthemums here. These are like specialty chrysanthemums. They bloom throughout the year. This looks beautiful, and I have multiple batches. And then it is also interspersed with about 1, 2, 3, and 4 salvias. These are Rock and Plain the Blue salvias. They look awesome. This rose is Munstead Wood. I have 2 Munstead Woods here. Then the zinnias, some of them managed to grow, but most of them have been pulling them out and pushing them to other areas or discarding them. This one is a beautiful rose. It is Elizabeth. It blooms in like clusters of several and it looks awesome. Just finished. Like that one is a done bloom, but it looks beautiful when it blooms. This one is Orchid Romance. That's another rose. I have to deadhead them. Again, you can see more chrysanthemums here. These are not the usual mums that you see in the garden store in the fall. These are perennial mums. So there's another bunch there, and they are in multiple places. I might have to take all the zinnias that self-seeded out. That is another mum there that is coming up. Again, another mum, set of mums there. Okay, this side I have planted some veggies. There's leaf veggies. They're seeded and they're just beginning to come up. Over here I've planted some amaranth. They're starting to come up. I don't think we put anything here, but over here we put some tomatoes. This were planted much later, so they're taking a while to come up. And then these are some peppers that we grew from seeds. These are mostly spicy peppers, I believe. And they are doing okay. I had them under a shade cloth for a while, but now they are doing great. And I always plant marigolds together with my veggies. I think it helps in the pollination. This one is my oldest hydrangea bed. You can see that these ones I wasn't expecting any blooms, but I'm getting some because they only bloom once a year. This too. These are the Cityline series hydrangeas. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful one. And then there's another one that's coming up. I have shade plants in the back. We have lots of ligularias and fatsias, so different varieties there. Giganteum crispata, and then that one is a sweet autumn clematis. It can be a bully in some gardens. If it is, I'll deal with it. For now, it doesn't have much area to spread. That's a penny mac hydrangea. This one I have to pull up the name. This one is a darker pink variety, so I don't know what it is. This one, these are all proven winners hydrangea. That one may be a endless summer, but this is the rest of it is all proven winners. These were cut back so severely, so I wasn't expecting much, but the fact that I'm getting some blooms is very encouraging. And these actually are rebloomers, so I do expect blooms later this year. I did manage to find myself this Farfugium or Ligularia. It's a firefly, and I love the speckled leaves that it has. This one is an annual, so it can come more forward and fill up the space. This is one of my mallow hibiscuses. This is one of the oldest ones. I think it has been here from, I don't know, lots of years. At least somewhere like 2019, 2018, something like that. And it blooms profusely throughout the year. I just cut it back to about 1.5 feet every year at the end of the season. And one reason I also like its position here, this one gets a little more sun because as you see the bed is a little bit curved, and this as it grows to like I would say 7-8 feet tall, and I let it be that tall because then it kind of provides some afternoon shade for my hydrangeas in the back, because this bed only gets sun like after 3 p.m. so late afternoon sun. Okay, this is Kahili ginger. Doesn't have any blooms now, it blooms later in the year. This is Clematis jackmanii that finished its first flush. This is like its second flush. I have a lot of lilies planted here and there. Some white, some pink, some dark pinks. That one is a button bush. This is its, I would say its second year. And then I have some berry Miss Poppins. Oh, I can see a bud coming up from my iris. I have another ginger here. This is a light pink variety. We had a huge bunch of these gingers here, but then once we put the pool equipment, their spot was taken over. So this whole area was gingers. Going back to the bed with my Ellen Huff hydrangea, it is living its life. This is its hydrangea here. This area gets late afternoon sun, so like maybe after 1 p.m. or so, but you have to keep in mind this is under the shade of this big crepe myrtle, so it gets filtered sun in the afternoon. This one is a Savannah rose. This is a Ray Ponton, and let me show you the lilies here. See, those lilies are done. Those are the same as the other one, but these are like a darker variety. I have a Abelia here, and then in the back I'm having a Batwing Japanese maple flushed out. This is the other tough stuff top fun that I was talking about. These flowers are nearly done, but then I'm getting more and more. This is supposed to be a 2 to 3 feet ball. Once it fully reaches its final stage, I am not pruning it at all, and I don't intend to prune it other than just take out the flowers. Most of the time the flowers just fall off. And I love this like lace cap look of the hydrangeas. I have so many mop heads, so now I'm getting more lace caps. This one is a Japanese maple. It's a Sango Kaku or coral bark. Of course, it has the red bark that you can see. It looks beautiful in the winter when the leaves are gone. This is the Arctic Frost Satsuma. It is supposed to be very cold hardy. This one is a lima bean. We eat a lot of beans. And this one is a bush lima bean. This is a Midnight Marvel hibiscus. Love it. And fully budded up. And most amazing thing, I got a baby there. I am going to pull out that baby and put it somewhere else. I love this hibiscus. This is like dark red. It hasn't bloomed yet. That is probably going to be its first bloom, probably tomorrow. This one is a cantaloupe. Actually, there are 2 plants here, 2 or 3 maybe. It's starting to leaf out this part. That's okay. We are working on the walkway a little more now. This is the last cauliflower that I'm getting, probably for the season. This one is bitter gourd. I'm letting it climb on this trellis. Let me show you. I think I saw some yesterday. Oh yeah. So like, that's how it looks. I did not plant these. These were planted I think a year ago, and every year it comes back here. And I just let it be. Maybe one of these years I'll put it somewhere else. But this is just bitter gourd. This one is a pomegranate. I think it's the Kandahar pomegranate. Like you can see, it's already flowered. And this is starting to bear fruit. It takes up a lot of space. So if you want a pomegranate, plant either a dwarf variety. I have one on the other side of the garden that's a dwarf. But this one is a full-sized one. And if you want full-sized one, one thing about pomegranates in my experience is that at least this one, it fruits on old growth. So if you are going to cut it back to the ground, you are not going to get any fruits for a few years. So this is huge. This is like at least 12 to 15 feet tall and at least 10 feet wide now. But it kind of nicely fills up the area, so I don't mind it. I have a Daphne here that is beautiful looking, starting to look beautiful. Daphnes are really hard to grow, so we'll keep you updated on how that does. We have sweet potatoes here, and our beans are just beginning to take off here. Oh, this one is also long beans. That's also long beans. Those are regular beans, I think. Going to this side of, oh my god, these sweet potatoes are crossing the walkway and coming to this side. I'm going to just let it have it on these 3 beds. This is another shade bed that I have. I call it my Big Daddy bed. I have a couple of camellias, but these are like, there are 3 big hydrangeas here. This one is the original hydrangea. This one is the Big Daddy hydrangea. It's taking up all the space that it can. I may have to move this hosta this fall. I might move it there somewhere. I'll find a spot. And this one is a newer hydrangea that I planted. I'll have to look up the name. I'll let you know. I'll put the name up on the screen. So I have 1, 2, 3 hydrangeas here. This bed gets a lot of shade. This bed gets probably a little bit of morning, little bit of afternoon sun. Right now you can see maybe like mid-morning afternoon sun when the sun is directly overhead. But then it has this huge canopy of trees. There is this side, this plum tree that is a very dense canopy that is coming across, and then we have this older mature plum and apricot tree that is coming from this side, so that is why it probably loves it here. It's beautiful lush green leaves, lots of shade. I have another hydrangea there. That is a munchkin hydrangea. That's a much smaller oak leaf hydrangea. And then I have a lot of carex grass, which is like a shade grass, planted in front. Another shade garden bed. Gets a little bit of morning sun on the front. It has some lamium, some same carex grass, some creeping phlox, some heuchera, and then I have a rhodea japonica there. That is, it's entering its 3rd year, and then it has some, this is a hosta, and that's another alstroemeria or Peruvian lily. This one is a large alocasia. I just don't know the variety. Looks like has coppery leaves in the bottom and looks awesome actually. I might need to cut this branch off for it to get more sun. This is a huge magnolia tree. You can see it's at least like 30 feet high now. And that is why this is a shade. This is the, we call it the magnolia bed. It is under this huge canopy of the magnolia tree. Just going through this bed quickly. This one, this is a little lavender butterfly bush. I think it's from the one of the, I'll put the name up, but there are like 5 different ones in this series, and I plan to get a few more of those. This is only its 2nd year, and it's starting to look so beautiful and so rounded. I have a bobo hydrangea here that is starting to leaf out. This is another bobo hydrangea on either side. Estrelitas starting to flower up, starting to bud up. And then these are some butterfly peas that I planted on either side. This is a jatropha that I cut back, and it always leaves out from the bottom. I have a lot of Achillea yarrow here and some hibiscus. These are all either Rose of Sharon's or mallow hibiscus. My veggie beds are on the other side. This is all 3 beds of peppers, and it's loaded with peppers. And we do consume a lot of peppers. And this year has been so productive. These are banana peppers. And those are, I think it's Hungarian something. Oh, these are bell peppers. These are the purple ones. More bell peppers here. I have already like at least a dozen sitting in my refrigerator that I have to cook. More bell peppers. Oh, wow. That's a red one that I should pick up. I usually pick them up before they turn this bright red because I really don't want to attract insects or critters for that matter. Okay, potatoes are almost nearing their harvest time. Lots of Achillea here. Okay, and this one is a night blooming jasmine. We just planted this earlier this spring, and it's fully budding up. These are my tomato beds, and I cannot tell you how prolifically we have been harvesting tomatoes from here. So my plan and trick for this year so far is I get them as soon as I see like a hint of orange, and then I let it color up inside. This one is a Buddleia. I think this is Miss Mary. It was cut back severely, but Buddleias always flush out. I have a Lamandra grass sitting there, some lavender, and that's pretty much it for the back. I haven't shown you this garden bed. I have a Moonlight in Paris there that I cut back, but it's blooming again. And this one is a Belinda's Dream. And then we have a Limelight hydrangea in the back that is just starting to leaf out. I do see some iron deficiency there, so I'll probably be doing some soil acidifier and with iron. And then this area has just two roses, which is Proven Winners Also Easy double red roses. I have to cut them back because I do want some space for my Golden Falls red bud in the back. Okay, I'm okay with that height. I have to just probably tie it back to that pole, but I want more space for it. And I did plant a Tiaris in here, Tiaris japonica. This area only gets some morning sun, so hopefully it'll do okay. For those of you that haven't seen my videos in the past, this is what I call my palm island. It's right at the back of my pool. It has 6 palms here, and all of them are very, very, very winter hardy. One of the most winter hardy palms you can get in the US. So that one is a windmill palm. That's a European fan palm. And this one is a Pindo palm, and the same is repeated on the other side in the opposite order. So as you can see, most of my garden, the trees have started growing up and they have started casting a lot of shade. This one is the last remnant flowers of Pretty in Pink Eden Rose. And what I wanted to show you was the new Japanese maple that I got. This one, I put it in a big pot, and you can see it's a Temukiyama. I got it from Costco, I think a couple of weeks back, and I kept it in this shade for it to settle down, but I know I'll have to put it in a little more sun than what it's getting right now, because for the leaves that are in shade, they're turning like a little bit greenish. This part gets a little more sun, so these leaves are more reddish, and in the fall I'll probably be putting in more morning sun. And giving you a look, this is a pink Mink clematis, starting to leaf out, no blooms yet this year. And on the other side I have this huge Ladybanks rose that also hasn't bloomed yet for me this year. And then, since I've already given you a tour of the front garden, all I'm going to do is do a silent tour and just take you along, since I did the video over 2 different days. So that was more like in the evening hours. This is more in the morning. Lastly, just wanted to go show you this flamethrower redbud. I had been looking for this redbud for a while, but finally managed to find one in our neighborhood Costco, and I got myself one. It was in a box probably for a long time, but now it's starting to leaf out, and I love the leaf color. I love redbuds. It's a native tree, produces beautiful blooms in spring that attract pollinators, and I have 4 of them. This is the 4th one. I have a rising sun, a flamethrower, and then the 2 usual ones, an Appalachian redbud and one is the Texas redbud. I think this is going to do fairly well in this area, So far my 3 other red buds, I have 1 in this bed right there and 2 in the bed next to it. So far I've been doing really well, so I'm imagining that this would also do fine here. It is kind of in morning sun with a little bit of part shade because of this oak tree, which will probably only grow, so should be okay. That's all I had for you today. Hopefully you'll enjoyed the garden tour. If you did, do hit a like and do subscribe to my channel, and do pass it on and share it with your friends and family, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.